You about to go into it?
All right.
Of course. All right, cool.
Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Q&E Podcast. Here with your boy QH right now. I got Egger right beside me. Egger, tell the people what's good.
Let's get into these controversial NBA topics. We got a lot of heat coming from my man Steve and from my man Black, two of our guests today on the Q&E Podcast. Y'all introduce yourselves. Steve, you go first.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Steve, the co-founder of Blue Collar Media Group, who proudly hosts the Q&E Podcast.
Yes, sir.
First time being here. Happy to be on with these boys.
Yes, sir. And we also got my man Larry Williams back again in a couple of movie reviews a couple of months back.
Yeah.
Black, say what's good.
Hey, what's good with y'all? It's your boy Larry Williams, a.k.a. Black, a.k.a. Wavy and Lit. Appreciate y'all boys for having me back on the podcast.
Okay, that's better. Okay.
Yes, sir. So in this podcast, we're talking about the all-time list. A couple of all-time lists came out this week. They were real controversial. We're going to dive into that. We're going to talk about a couple of who was the best big three, the top three big threes. And we also are going to dive into the top 5 position rankings for NBA as well. Mm-hmm. So since Steve is here, and I know he got a lot of feelings that came out about the
all-time list. They ranked NBA players of all time. I think it was like 3 or 4 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of people, including Quincy and Steve, had some problems with the top 5 alone, not even including the whole top 10. So give us your take on how disrespectful you think that top list was.
Well, it's like, I don't know, Bill Russell. I'm a Celtics fan, but Bill Russell in the top 5 is
crazy.
I know the 11 championships. I'm a Celtics fan. I count those championships, but it's still. I mean, and it was a different game then. The '60s was different than now. It's been a lot of other players, and I mean, they had Larry Bird behind him. I wouldn't. To be honest, my top 5 all time goes 1, Jordan. I don't think there's really much of a debate for LeBron over Jordan. To be honest with you.
Ooh.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think he sits firmly at number 2.
What does he have to do for you to get to number 1? What does he have to do for you? More rings? What does he have to do?
Yeah, he'd need more rings. I don't know if he still has time to surpass Jordan. Because, to be honest, the whole jumping around to different teams and joining up with all these different superstars and forming these super teams and then not even finishing half the time kind of throws me off.
So you're taking that away from him?
Yeah, think about that final series against the Mavericks in 2011. Jordan's Bulls, I think, walk all over that team, and I loved that 2011 Mavericks team.
Yeah.
I think the 96, 97 Bulls walk all over that fucking team. And I mean, dude, I don't remember what LeBron averaged for the series. It was horrible.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't good. Yeah.
He had that game where he had 8 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 8 points in one game. Come on, man. And were the Heat his team?
Not at that time, no. It wasn't his team at that.
That year, no. They weren't. That year, no.
And trust me, I'm the biggest D-Wade advocate, biggest D-Wade fan, so I say it all the time. That was D-Wade's Finals MVP. He had it right there. If LeBron just showed up, that was D-Wade's MVP, bro. But it's crazy that you take that player mobility away from him. A lot of people build that on LeBron's legacy, especially what's come after that. And he started a real player mobility movement. So you take that away from him still?
Yeah, I don't know. I appreciate more of a guy who stays in the one spot and works to improve his spot, and then LeBron kind of picked and choose.
But he didn't start picking and choosing until after years of just sticking with the same terrible front office. It was where he had to choose his own career or just sticking with the same franchise, doing the same old. So
yeah, basically the Celtics were beating him up, so he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go join up with D-Wade."
Don't do that. Don't do that, Steve. Don't do that. Hey, Black, we're gonna get your opinion in there. Black, we're gonna get your opinion. How do you feel about LeBron and how player mobility has affected his legacy? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing for him?
And do you charge it against leaving the first time? Do you charge that against him, or do you charge him leaving Miami and then leaving?
I charge all of it. I charge it all in the negative aspect because, just like you said, I mean, for the people that stay in one spot and win the chips, or they say, hey, we're either going to win with my team or we're going to lose with my team, but I'm not leaving. Whether or not the organization was shitty, I mean, you got to look at it. Kobe stayed with his team even when his team didn't win. Jordan stayed
But he
with his
wanted to
team
get out
when
though
his
at the
team
same
didn't
time,
win.
bro. He wanted to get traded at the same time. He was asking for a
He
trade,
did,
but
but
they just didn't trade him.
they didn't trade him, and then he still stayed. He could have left
They
in
also
free
had Phil
agency.
Jackson.
He could have. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities to leave. You don't have to sign an extension. You don't have to renegotiate. You can say, hey, nah, screw y'all. I'm out. I wanted to be traded. I wanted to be gone. Y'all didn't do it. This is my time to leave. But he didn't. And LeBron had the opportunity to leave. And almost every time he's had the opportunity to leave, he's done it.
Yeah,
But
he
he's
wouldn't
done
have
it for
gone back.
legacy. Go.
He wouldn't have gone back to Cleveland if they didn't have Kyrie. If they didn't have Kyrie already there.
I agree with that.
Like if he and then he got them to sign Kevin Love, and LeBron comes in, man. He's just like the GM of a team.
Oh, we all
Like
know this.
the Lakers literally just traded away their entire future to get Anthony Davis on a 1-year contract.
But what are they saying right now? What are people saying right now? They got him as the favorites in the West. It looks like a good trade.
No, I know they do. No, it's so many resigns.
But can you blame
The
him? For that?
favorites
I mean,
don't really
the
mean
way I
a
look
whole
at
lot.
the way I look at the player mobility, I feel like it's a good thing. There's pros and cons to it. The pros that I see from the player mobility is that we get it. LeBron is the first person to just want to leave a team, but he's the one who elevated it to the point where players like really put their career and their destiny in their own hands when it comes to their NBA careers. And I feel like that's where the pro comes, because LeBron didn't just leave Miami to go back to Cleveland just because Kyrie was there. Granted, that is a huge reason why he went there, but he also went back because he's like, I owe that city something. You know, it was bigger than just Kyrie's there and I could just build a team. He was like, I want to try and win my city a championship now that I know how it feels to be a champion.
Shit.
So, I just feel he not only wanted to go back to Cleveland just because Kyrie got there, but also just to win the championship for his home city. Now that since he knew how it felt to be a champion, you know, after winning with Miami. And then the whole going to LA thing, he, along with D Wade and the rest of the Banana Boat crew, like they always talked about playing for the legacy teams of the NBA. You know, he said that even with D Wade. Remember the last time they played each other in LA, and he was like, man, remember we always talked about somehow, some way it was all going to end here and blah, blah, blah and everything. Like, it's just, they have it, Bron has it so mapped out, like how he wants his career to go. I feel like that's why it's a good thing, because he showed other players you can do it the same way. You can be the GM and the player at the same time.
So I feel you on that, but the part that, you know, I'm all for players just trying to decide, hey, I want to do this with my career because I know that the NBA is a business. So, you know, I get that. I'm all for that. But on the flip side of that, you can't go out and go to a place and say, I'm going to win and I'm going to do this, this, and this with this team, and then you leave after 2 seasons. Hey, we're not going to win not 3. We're not going to win 4. We're not going to win 5. We're not going to win 6. You know, we're going to win
But circumstances had changed. Circumstances. D Wade was getting old and was breaking down. It was like,
I do agree.
But that's
something
you have to take into perspective. You have to take into perspective Father Time and all these aspects before you go out and make promises and guarantees like that.
That's what I'm saying. Bron shouldn't have said all that. He was like, not 5, not 6, not 7. I was like, whoa, calm down. Like, win 1 first. And then you can start saying that. So I will say he shouldn't have said all that when he first got there and they did the Big 3 introduction and all that. I was like, whoa, Bron tripping.
yeah, bro, that's crazy. So let's dive back into the top 5. Black, who is your top 5? We lost Steve, so who is your top 5 of the all-time? Top 5 all-time.
My top 5 all-time, of course, I'm going to go Jordan at number 1. I'm going Kobe at number 2 just because of the certain aspects that I have with LeBron. Yeah, I know up until last couple of years, I was just the biggest LeBron hater. I say it myself.
Yeah.
But, after watching him, you gotta respect what he's done, regardless of what opinions you have for him outside of basketball, whether or not you like him. You gotta respect what the man's done on the court. So I have LeBron at number 3. I have Magic at number 4, simply because Magic played every position at some point. He did what needed. He wasn't just he was a great point guard or he was a great big man. There was times where Magic lined up at the 3, Magic lined up at the 4, Magic lined up at the 2.
Center.
He played.
He lined up at center in that one finals.
Yeah.
Exactly. So in terms of, that's where the greatest of all time conversation of all time, he played every position. That's why I have him at the 4. And I have Shaq at the 5 because for majority of career, I have Shaq being unstoppable. There's nobody that if you put them on a one-on-one in a scoring position where you need a bucket, that I don't see a whole lot of people being able to simply be able to say, all right, I'm going to lock him down. He's not going to score him. So I have Shaq at the 5.
Yeah. See, I agree with you with Shaq. I actually, do we agree on the whole top 5?
I was thinking the same thing.
I don't know.
Mine different.
I think I got Bron 1, Jordan 2. Just the overall player, I want Bron just from the overall, how he can do literally everything on the court, the passing, everything. I know Jordan had the defense, he can score, all that, but just the passing and the playmaking skills just are unmatched when it comes to LeBron James. And if I had to build a team around anybody, LeBron James is definitely my first pick. So I got Bron, Jordan. Damn, I would go Magic at 3, honestly. I would go Magic at 3. Damn. Kobe might be 4. It's either Kobe or Tim Duncan. I got a weird infatuation with Tim Duncan, bro. I feel like he does not get enough credit.
You're not wrong for
I have Timmy at the 6.
Yeah, I got a weird infatuation when it comes to Timmy because I feel like he doesn't get it. He has 5 championships.
Yeah.
And was the best player on, I want to say 5 or 4 of them. 4 of the 5, he was the best player. So it's like he doesn't get enough credit for what he does in front of the game of basketball, bro. So I would probably have Timmy at 4, and I would have Shaq at 5, bro. And I don't think I have Kobe in my top 6 or my top 5. And people will look at me crazy, especially nowadays. I don't know if it's because he died or what, but I feel like a lot of people are starting to come into this mentality of if Kobe isn't in your top 5 or your top 5 is invalid or anything like that. I feel like a lot of people are starting to talk like that nowadays.
I definitely feel like the death of Kobe, as sad as it was, does play a part in how people look at you with your top 5 now. Because it's like, if you don't include him, it's like you hating.
Exactly.
That's not what it is.
And it's not. Kobe's 6. Kobe's
that's
6.
not what it is. He's a top 10 player. Anything below 6, then you're reaching. To me, then you're reaching. Yeah. But if you can definitely build a solid case on why he's not in the top 5. But my top 5, I got Bron at 1. Just because Quincy said, you could put him anywhere on the floor. He will make the best play possible happen, whether he has the ball in his hands or not. And then I just love everything around his career, what he's done to maintain himself from high school to where he is now. So that's why I got Bron at 1. I got Jordan at 2. At 3, I put Kareem. I put Kareem.
I'm not even mad at that, bro. When I see Kareem at 3, I'm not mad at that.
I put Kareem at 3. At 4, I know Shaq gonna be 5, but at 4, I put Kobe. I put Kobe at 4.
Kobe at 4.
So
I'm mad at that.
Jordan, Kareem, Kobe, Shaq.
But Black, you really surprised me though, bro. I thought you were gonna have Larry Bird in your top 5, man. You really surprised me with that. I know you like the great.
Surprisingly, I have Larry Bird at 8.
You have it at 8?
Love Larry to death.
Who was 6 and 7? Who was 6 and 7 for you?
I still have Kareem and I have Tim Duncan ahead of them.
Okay.
Kareem and Tim Duncan, yeah. But Bill Russell we all agree Bill Russell, is he even top 10? Is Bill Russell even top 10?
No, not top 10. No.
Maybe 10? Maybe 10?
I have him at 10.
Somebody my dad's age would probably be like, you're crazy for not putting Bill Russell in the top 10. Because my dad seen players like Bill Russell, Julius Erving, all of them play and everything. So their opinion is going to be way different. But I feel like even people like my dad's age should be able to understand that, it's a lot of athletes nowadays who can run circles around Bill Russell.
Running laps, bro. And I want to talk about this. Because I seen this one picture that it was comparing Bob Cousy to Russell Westbrook. Why is that even a comparison, bro? Westbrook is running laps around Bob Cousy. I don't care how many awards he has named after him. Russell Westbrook is running laps, stealing everything that man Cousy dribbles, dunking over him, all that, man. It shouldn't even be a comparison. And I also seen another question, and Black, I want you to chime in on this, because me and you know what I'm saying, we go back and forth in the DMs, we throw our little Melo shots, but we still respect Melo at the end of the day. But I seen something, a tweet today that says, is Melo even a top 50 player?
Oh, that's just y'all know how I am with Melo, and even I gotta say, come on now, top 50, that you're just being disrespectful.
Exactly, bro.
So Black, what's your piece on that?
I think when people think of Melo nowadays, they think of how Melo is now. And a lot of the young kids in the younger generation that didn't grow up watching Melo and, watching the greatness of Melo early on in his prime, and only seeing like the back end of the Knicks and how he turned down to go to a better team to take more money. And, as his field goal percentage started to dip and then him getting out of the league and not being able to find a team. And to that point where the NBA started to change when Steph changed the game, I think that's what people are looking at now. So they're like, oh, well, based off what he's done the last couple of years, there's no way in the world Melo is top 50. But if you go back and you look at, everything that Melo has done, not just with the Nuggets, not just with the Knicks, but being on Team USA and, leading that team and being a mentor and just the way that this man approached the game, that easily puts him in the top 50. I can argue top 30, honestly.
You can.
Melo's running laps around definitely
Bill Russell. He's running laps around Bill Russell. Laps around all them. Mark Price. Who else? Who in the top 30, bro? All them old players, bro. I'm telling you, all those old players, he running laps. Bob Cousy, Sam, everybody on them. Jerry West. He's running laps around Jerry West. I'm telling you, Melo better than all of them.
One thing I want to say, I like how you brought up Steph Curry and your point just then. Steph Curry has a possibility to be a top 10 player if he wins 1 or 2 more championships. If Steph Curry can get 4 or 5 championships added to his name, he's going to be considered a top 10 player all time. Because he's already considered the greatest shooter of all time and one of the top 10 point guards of all time. So if he adds 1 or 2 more championships, how can you not put him in the top 10 greatest players of all time, period? Even if you put him at 10, he's going to build an argument to be considered.
I can agree with you. I can agree with you with that. I can agree with you. How you
the reason I'll play devil's advocate here and say the reason, even if he wins 2 more, why he wouldn't be there, because everybody else that are in that top 10 can play defense, and Steph is not the greatest defender.
I mean,
and it's one thing to go out. He's not a good
enough
defender.
to not be in the top 10.
His offense speaks for itself. His numbers speak for itself. But you have to look at on the flip side. What does it mean if, all right, Steph has dropped 60, but his opponent has dropped 58 and 10?
Nah, and people ain't doing that.
I mean,
nobody. Go ahead.
No, nobody's dropping 58 and 10 on, Steph. Like that's a bit of a dramatic thing. But if you're giving up, half as many points as you're dropping, and they're driving past you, they're setting up players because you can't stay in front of your man.
So like Steph,
and I just kind of
like 45 and 10, and he'll guard somebody that drops 27 and 8.
No, this is my point though.
Steph's never dropped 45 and 10. So
I'm just saying.
I think he has.
Oh, 10 assists?
Are you disrespecting right now? Are you disrespecting right now?
You're disrespecting. Steph definitely.
I'm almost
40.
I'm almost willing to bet money that he's never put 45 and 10 on anybody.
Okay, maybe not the exact number, but
I won't say. I will 40 plus double digits assists. I don't think he's done that.
I think he
has. At least once out of his whole career.
But this something I want to throw at you though, because I don't even see that as a good argument, because he doesn't guard the point guard or somebody that's going against him. I think Klay always guards the best guard on that team, and he usually holds them down to a good, good day. 9 times
out of 10, Steph is mismatched with whoever he's guarding defensively.
And he's a good team defender, and he's guarding somebody who's probably not even on his level, not on his level at all.
I've seen him plenty of times where he should have been guarding Kyrie, but he was guarding
Exactly.
Bron.
They got Klay guarding Kyrie. So it's like you can say it's his team that helps him in this scenario. Like one-on-one, if he didn't have Klay Thompson, I would get your argument. If he didn't have Klay Thompson, he probably would be getting run around 40, and he would be having 40, and somebody else would be having 40. But Klay Thompson really covers up for him pretty well when it comes to that. So you can say he
was also getting dropped off by Fred VanVleet.
I mean, bro, that's a one-time thing, though, man. We ain't gonna say Fred was eating him up.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna say Fred was eating him up. He had a good series, no lie. Fred had a good series.
He ate him up in the finals. It's one thing to get eaten up in the regular season, but in the finals, your defense has to be top tier. You can't just be a
But who
okay
didn't he
defender
have, though, bro? Who didn't he have? Klay Thompson wasn't there, and that's what I said.
Is that an excuse for him not playing good defense?
Yes.
Yeah.
One-on-one defense.
No.
One-on-one defense, not Klay, but Steph is not a good one-on-one defender. He's not. But a good help defender, good team defender, yes, bro. He can't guard the point guard. He can't guard Kyrie one-on-one. No. But a team defender, I think he is.
I'm telling you, bro.
And Klay covers up.
But that argument changes from person to person, because if you can say that argument for Steph, but if you flip that argument on any other great player that's been in the finals, then it's like, no, that's unacceptable. If you put that situation on Kevin Durant and say, oh, no, Kevin wasn't playing good defense because he didn't have Steph. He wasn't playing good defense because he didn't have Klay. LeBron didn't play good defense because he didn't have D Wade in that series. Then the whole argument shifts, because it's like, nah, you should.
You just named two players who are above 6'8".
It's
wingspan's like 7 foot. Like,
it's a tough argument. I see your point. I see your point, but it's a tough argument at the end of the day. It's tough. I think Steph could end up getting in the top 10. So you don't think he can get in the top 10 at all?
Right now, you can make a case.
I believe it.
Top 10.
Oh, you think he can?
I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. I was just playing devil's advocate. I believe Steph's going to end up in the top 10.
I think he is.
That's what I'm saying. All he needs is one, maybe two more chips, and he in there automatically.
But this is somebody who I want to talk about as well, because I don't think he gets enough credit in today's NBA and today's culture. Allen Iverson, bro. He's somebody that becomes forgotten when we talk about players nowadays.
He's top 25. For me, he's top 25.
He higher than that. When you look at –
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you look at top 20, top 25, they don't even have AI up there. And he changed the culture of this whole NBA thing. He made a lot of people want to play basketball.
And I tell people that a lot of time, it's more than just your skill that gets you placed in these number positions. Like, it's really your skills. What did you do to change the game? What did you do to change the culture? Like, how were you as a leader? I feel like all of that gets taken into consideration when they do all-time lists. So to keep Allen Iverson out of the top 20 or 25, that's just disrespectful. Same thing with Melo keeping him out of the top 50. Like, that's just disrespectful.
So how do you feel about Allen Iverson not getting the credit I feel like he deserves in today's culture?
So first off, just right off the bat, I have to say that's extremely disrespectful to me. Not even to mention that he went to the finals with
by himself. Mutombo. I mean, that was it.
I for the casual fan, without Google, without NBA.com, if you can name that starting five that he took to that finals, all props to you. But to think of, I can say, at least in my lifetime, I've only seen 4 or 5 people legit change the game of basketball, and he was one of them. There has been a lot of people that has made an impact on the game, that has made the game shift into some areas that without them it would have never shifted. But in terms of changing the way the game of basketball has been played, the way Steph did, the way LeBron did, the way that Kobe did, you have to throw Allen Iverson into that. He made people play zone defense. He's one of the reasons a lot of these young point guards, young guards have the handles that they have, because they grew up watching his highlights, how he was shifting people, breaking them down. So without Allen Iverson, this game looks completely different than it would have.
He really brought the hip-hop element into basketball, too. And he brought that culture change of players really being tatted, players playing with corn. This man got his hair braided at the game on the bench. Like, he really brought the hip-hop culture into the league.
And not even that, bro. The fact that it wouldn't be as many small guards in the league if it wasn't for Allen Iverson. I think that's the bigger effect. Like, we wouldn't get the Isaiah Thomases, the small Isaiah Thomases from the Celtics years. Who else is another small guard? I can't even.
I mean, you got
Trae Young. We wouldn't see a Trae Young in today's NBA if it wasn't for Allen Iverson coming in and having the impact that he had. So when I don't see him in top 20s, it's like, man, you're taking a shot at the impact You forget about the old AI when he was with the Sixers carrying
Even
the team to the fight.
CP3 to an extent.
CP3, yeah, 6 foot guards, like having that impact, bro. He paved the way for a lot of these players, bro. And I just don't feel like he gets enough credit that he deserves, bro. Because, who you got? Oscar Robertson and Allen Iverson?
I didn't watch Oscar Robinson, so just based off plays that I've seen, I'm biased to that. So I have to take Allen Iverson. If I was older and I got to really watch Oscar Robinson the way I got to watch Allen Iverson, that's a different conversation. But I only watched AI, so I'm taking that.
I feel like even with me seeing highlights of Oscar Robertson, I probably would just still be biased and pick AI. But Oscar Robertson is definitely top 20.
Look at that. I don't even think he's in top 25, bro. He's not.
It go through 40 on that one. So
they got D-Wade at 26. Oh, this is the ESPN rating list. So let me read through the top 10 for the ESPN rating list. That's what we started off saying.
Go back with the top 10.
Let me get it.
Top 10 was right there.
All right, let me say that. Let me read the top 10 because it was blasphemy. It came out in the middle of the week, and we just couldn't believe it. So number 1 was Michael Jordan, no argument. 2 was Bron, no argument. Kareem was 3, no argument at all. But number 4 was Bill Russell. Steve just came on. We talked about that. Magic Johnson 5, no argument. Wilt Chamberlain 6. You rocking with that?
I can't deny it. I probably wouldn't put him at 6, but I'll find a way to squeeze him in my top 10, maybe top 15. But Wilt, I gotta respect Wilt. Only man to drop triple-digit points in the game. So.
Black, you got a problem with Wilt at 6?
I can't deny him 6, but I'm not giving him 6.
That's what I'm saying. I can't deny it, but I personally wouldn't give it to him.
Okay. So we got Larry Bird at 7. I don't have no problem because he carried the NBA. Him and Magic in the 80s carried the NBA, so he definitely has to get that credit. Tim Duncan at 8. I think he should be a little bit higher, but I'll let it rock. You got Kobe at 9, and that's where a lot of the heat came from this week. Kobe at 9, and you got Shaq at 10, and I think he was in all of our top 5.
He was in all of our top 5. He was in Steve's too, but he didn't get to give his.
Yeah, he was in Steve's top 5. So everybody got Shaq top 5. They got him at 10. It's like but ESPN does this to start a debate.
Yeah.
I don't think they truly believe this is the top 5 and top 10.
I need to figure out who made that list at ESPN because I know one person made it. I know this was not a roundtable discussion. I'm pretty sure one person made this list.
Of course not.
It's straight black. Some intern made it. You know what I'm saying? Writing up a paper or whatever.
Somebody give him an article for the day. He was like,
let me cause a stir.
Let me start the culture.
Let me cause a stir.
11 through 40.
You got 11 through 40?
Yeah. That was one. That was the one that was D-Wade was 26.
Okay, so you had D-Wade at Isaiah Thomas 31. Behind Steve Nash.
They keep disrespecting.
This is where I have a problem, bro. Black, I know you love Steve Nash, but this is a huge problem right here.
He wasn't on the dream team.
Exactly,
in the top 30. Oh my God.
I rock with Steve. I really do rock with Steve, bro. But he should not be above Isaiah. Give your take. I know you feel away.
Ooh.
I know you feel away, bro.
I'm gonna disagree with you there. Yeah, I know.
You gonna disagree?
I love me some Steve Nash.
You can hit 30 players better than Isaiah Thomas? You could
Are you talking 30 players better, or are you talking Steve Nash or?
No, I'm just saying Steve Nash. I'm saying Steve Nash or Isaiah. Who you got? Because I know you like Steve.
I'm taking Steve Nash because Steve Nash, in my opinion, has impacted the game and future point guards more than Isaiah Thomas has.
That I will agree with.
You agree?
I agree.
I don't know, bro. It goes back to my point of small guards, bro. Isaiah Thomas was another one of those pioneers that got the small guards into the NBA. And do we have a Steve without an Isaiah? It's like, damn, Steve got the two MVPs. I give him that. I think those were well-deserved MVPs. Damn, he don't got the rings to show for it, though. And Isaiah has the rings, though, bro. So you still taking it?
Isaiah was in the – yes, because if Steve Nash was in the West and he went against – I would say the West is, for majority of at least the time that I've seen, and plus that comes into the I saw Steve Nash and I didn't see Isaiah Thomas bias. I saw Steve Nash go up against Kobe. I saw him go up against Tim Duncan. I saw him go up against all these tough Western teams and win MVPs over people that, had ridiculously great seasons. Like he won the MVP over Kobe that had better numbers than him that season.
I'm gonna let you rock, bro, because I just seen something I had an even bigger problem with. It's Giannis. I see Giannis top 30 right now.
He's won nothing.
He's won an MVP, but he's number 27 right now. They got Giannis at 27. How do you? I'm blown away.
They're really doing that for athletic ability. That's the only reason they put him in.
They got him above John Stockton, AI, Steve, Isaiah, James. Bro, he hasn't done anything.
One MVP.
One MVP, bro. Is that even?
He's a baby to this game.
What you said?
He's a baby to this.
Like he's literally a baby. Like,
why is? Oh my goodness, bro. Like I said, this was made to make us debate, but that's blasphemy.
I promise you, they only put that because of athletic ability. That's the only reason they put him right there.
Jason Kidd, I feel like is another PG that doesn't get enough credit either.
Oh yeah, a lot of
absolutely
our age or younger. A lot of people don't really know.
Yeah, they forget about bro. J. Kidd with the Nets. They took the 2 finals against Kobe them and the Spurs. Come on, bro. You gotta give
J. Kidd.
I remember I first learned about Jason Kidd because I watched Like Mike, and I was like, I gotta look up.
J. Kidd don't get enough.
J. Kidd and Steve Nash was how Chris Paul and Darren Williams were.
Yeah, they were neck and neck, 1 and 2. They were battling up. And I remember Darren Williams, bro. A lot of people clown Darren Williams nowadays because they remember Darren Williams with Cleveland and at the back end of the Nets. But Darren Williams was definitely the best PG in the league at one point.
Yeah.
Neck and neck with Chris Paul. I will never forget that. Chris Paul was almost winning MVPs, but Darren Williams was right there, bro.
Remember
I promise you.
Remember I used to come Ron.
Yeah. Well, Utah with the J, it was him, Boozer, and I want to say it was Mehmet Okur, Karolinko. Team was solid back then, bro. Team was solid. Darren Williams is a clown, but he was definitely a good player, bro. Definitely a great player. But transitioning off of that, bro, I want to dive into big threes. D-Wade had came out earlier this week and said the Heat were the second best big three of all time. I just want to get your best 3 big threes, and then I'll go to Black.
I'll say my top big threes of all time. I would have to say Jordan, Scottie, and Rodman are the best big three of all time.
I was thinking Horace Grant, but we looked up stats.
We
looked up stats. We looked up stats. No, I agree. No, I'm agreeing with you because I said Horace Grant at first, but yeah, Rodman is definitely the best.
Man, picking me with goggles. Anybody who's worn goggles can't be in the conversation.
I agree now.
So Jordan, Scottie, and Rodman are my number 1 big three of all time. My second of all time would be D-Wade, Bron, and Bosh.
Ooh.
And then my third favorite big three of all time, Quincy brought this up earlier, Tim Duncan, Ginobili, and Tony Parker. That would be my third favorite big three.
So how are you ranking them? Are you going by championships? Are you going by talent? What are you ranking them by?
I grade this top 3 off of the fact of I put Jordan, Scottie, and Rodman at number 1 just because of the reign that they took over in the later half of the 90s, like with Jordan coming back to the league and having to re-find himself and figure out where he fits in the league again. So that aspect. Scottie figuring out that, hey, I really don't rock with this organization that well because they tried to replace me with Kukoc and all that. And then Rodman finding another home in Chicago now. The way that all of that just gelled together to win those 3 championships, like all that controversy around each player, I got to put that at number 1 for the fact that they held all that together and still won the 3-peat that they did. And then number 2, with Wade, Bosh, and Bron, it was like we never seen player mobility like how we seen it with Bron. And that first championship against Dallas, we throw that out the window. At least I do. But
I don't throw it out the window, but
it was a character builder.
Yeah.
So the 2 championships that they won, it was just spectacular to see that. It was like we never seen players have fun like that on the court and just win the way they were winning. And then the big fundamental last 3 of Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker, they showed you that at the end of the day, you got to know your fundamentals. It's all about the regimen, the strictness of the coaching with Popovich, and each man doing their job to where we can all gel together. I feel like the big fundamental rounds out the top three.
I'll wait to say mine. So, Black, I want you to go next.
Ooh, I'm trying to remember the third person for my second big three, but this is gonna be a little bit of a hot take for mine.
Huh? Whoa! Are you about to say what I think you're about to say, sir?
He's gonna say it.
No,
He's gonna say
no.
it. I know he's.
I am not gonna say it, but I will say I do not have D Wade, Braun, and Bosch in my top three.
Okay.
So for number one, I'm gonna ride with Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman. Just like Edgar said, that they speak for themselves. What they've done, what they've accomplished, it speaks for themselves. My number two, and this is the third person I'm drawing a blank on. I'm going Magic, Kareem, and
James Worthy.
James Worthy. That's
James Worthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'm rocking with
Showtime.
my number two. They were the Showtime Lakers. I mean, they were battling with Larry Bird. They were, throughout everything that this team had to go through, both individually and as a team, to block out all the distractions and come on the court and say, hey, this is what we need to get done. This is what we want to accomplish. This is how we're going to do it, and go out and do it. Whether all the shortcomings with everything that they went through, I'm putting them at number two.
And the way they carried the NBA too, bro. The way they carried the NBA in the 80s when the NBA wasn't looking up. You know what I'm saying? It was really on the decline until Bird and Magic. And really, they won 5. Magic them won 5 championships in that era, bro. So I can see that. I can see that too.
And number 3, I'm going with Timmy, Manu, and Tony Parker, because they played the right way. This is a team that didn't miss the playoffs. This is a team that goes in. They're fundamental. They do needs to be done. They play basketball the right way. They're not in the media. They're real quiet guys. They're all from overseas, so they're not homegrown players that grew up, in the neighborhood shooting on a basketball pole. They made it from overseas and playing under Greg Popovich, coming in, doing the job that needs to be done. Not taking, it was me. I know I'm the best player on this team. Saying, hey, I did what needed to be done. Manu did what he needed to be done. Tony did what he needed to be done. We all came in. We all gelled as a group from 3 different places and got the championship. So those are my top 3.
That's a good point you made about them being from overseas. Like, they really elevated the look of international players. I know we've always had international players before them, but those championships that they won really made people realize, like, look, there is true talent overseas if you just look and give them the right coaching. No matter how much English they could really speak. If you could hoop, you could hoop. So that was
coming from overseas, and coming from overseas, three different countries overseas, that's one thing. But to come into the NBA and not miss the playoffs one time is something
that's
that
facts,
I don't
bro.
think you can't just overlook that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
that's why I have them at the number 3.
I definitely thought we were all gonna agree on the Heat thing. I didn't think everybody was gonna have the Spurs in there though.
Oh, I had the Spurs in there. I knew I was gonna have the Spurs.
Because I remember I brought it up before the pod. Were they always in your top 3 big threes?
They weren't, but it took me some time to really think about that answer. And after some real thought and thinking about how they were off from overseas and how they didn't miss the playoffs and the team that they played for, that changed my answer.
Damn. Okay. So let me get mine. So my number 1, I agree everybody, is Dennis Rodman, MJ, Scotty. My number 2 is, I agree with Black, it's the Lakers. Just for what they did, how they carried the 80s with the Celtics. I had them at number 2. And number 3 for me is the Heat. Definitely, it's Heat bias involved. It's always going to be Heat bias for me, man. But for how they shook up the culture, and 2 out of 4 championships is nothing to sniff at. I know we thought they were going to do big things, but still, 2 out of 4, man, they got it done. LeBron became his own in that 4 years they were together. I love that big 3. So that is my top 3 big threes. I want to give an honorable mention to the Golden State Warriors because none of us mentioned them at all.
So because, Draymond Green don't give me that big 3.
But I'm talking about KD.
No.
I'm talking about. So are we not including that? Because that talent-wise, that's probably the best big three.
Talent-wise, okay. But when you think about big threes, like it's really like a legacy thing. Like I don't see legacy when I see KD next to Steph and Clay. I just see, hey, we all know why you came to. I mean, granted, we all know why Bron went to Miami, but at least he stayed an adequate amount of years, and he didn't go for the same reasons KD went. Mm-hmm. And like I feel the reason behind KD going there to Golden State is what made people give that side eye of we can't even really count that because you didn't go to win. You went just to walk into a ring. You didn't go to still fight for a ring. It was like you knew automatically you was gonna get a ring with this team.
He messed up the NBA. He knocked it off the kilter in a way.
Yeah, like people love to ignore the reason and be like, at the end of the day, people only gonna remember that he went there. They're not gonna remember why he went there. People definitely gonna remember why he went there. So I feel like that why reason makes me give a side eye to that big three. I can't just count that. Talent wise, okay. If we talking just talent, then yeah, we can count it.
Once again, Black, surprise, no Larry Bird in there, bro. You really I'm thinking, bro. When I got you on the pod, I thought I was gonna get a whole lot of Larry Bird from you. I really did.
Surprisingly though, just how Edgar said he gives the side eye to the Warriors. I'm giving the side eye to the Heat with LeBron because, like you said, with the 2 for 4, that's great, and nobody's gonna really remember, why you went there, 20 years down the road. But for somebody that was, that lived in Florida and that got to experience, and that was a huge LeBron fan when he was in Cleveland, and to see you come and team up with somebody who's a guaranteed Hall of Famer, and then you bring somebody who is the leader of his team out of his team to a team where he goes from the first option to the third option, that gives me the side eye from you. So normally under different circumstances, I'd probably, you would be my number 4 because talent-wise, hey, there's not a whole lot of big threes that's going to come in and, wipe that Heat team off. But they also did get wiped off. Mm-hmm. So my number 4, of course, I'm going to go with Larry Bird and Bill Russell.
Hold on, what did you just say?
I'm sorry.
He's created custom big threes. Custom big threes. Custom big threes.
Ignore that.
If that's the case, I know if Shaq waited, bro.
I'm going Chris Paul, Bron, and KD. But y'all know what I meant.
I know what you meant. Yeah.
You know what I meant. But as a team that was built, that was drafted, that was brought in together, that, that's going at it, and that's also helping change basketball in the 80s when basketball wasn't looking like the way it's looking now. It's like
exactly.
It's not like you're competing janitors and doormen. You're competing against Magic. You're competing against all these young players with something to prove that also want to come in and change the game. You're coming in. You're a guy that's going into a 3-point contest asking, hey, which one of y'all coming in second? With your jacket still on. So,
and he won in the jacket.
That kind of thing. Winning in the jacket. After asking, you know how cocky you have to be to come in, hey, which one of y'all coming in second? And I'm not even gonna take my jacket off because this is slight work. So to come in and do that, that's you're a different beast,
which was the bigger flex? Jordan in the dunk contest with the waves and the 2 chains, or Larry Bird winning the 3-point contest in the jacket? Which was the bigger flex?
Winning in the jacket.
I would say winning the jacket. Yeah. I would say winning in the jacket.
I don't know.
MJ did look saucy in that damn fit though.
He did though.
Ones with the waves saucy. And the 2 chains?
He looked saucy. But I go Bird.
That's a flex.
I'll go Bird.
I'm icy, so I gotta go with the icy.
I go Bird though. But it's funny.
Hard on.
You like LeBron, bro. I didn't know you liked LeBron back in Cleveland. I thought you were more of a Larry.
Loved him.
Because me and you agree that Larry Hughes was the best player on that team.
Because
we agree.
Bro, remember we had our computer class with Mr. Sider. Freshman year, me and Larry had computer class with Mr. Sider. We remember when the news broke that no, it wasn't when the news broke when Bron went there. but we remember talking about the first year they went to the championship, and they were about to go again to face the Spurs for the second time. He told me how he wasn't really a Bron fan no more when he went to Miami, because he was like, bro, I used to like Bron, but now he done did this and went to Miami. I can't respect it. I was like, what? He's the best player in the league.
That's funny, bro.
Yeah.
I always talk about Larry Hughes.
Yeah, when he was sticking to Cleveland and there was no rumors of him leaving, I was like, you know what? This is a guy that came from high school. This is a guy that they're saying, he's gonna go number one, but they're saying he's gonna drop off after a year or two. He's not gonna be this great player. He's coming in, taking a starting role, changing the franchise around. I'm like, bro, I don't know if y'all seeing this, but dude's gonna change the game. He's looking like one of those young greats that's gonna come in and change the game. Did I think he was the best player on that team right off the bat? No, Larry Hughes was that dude. Larry Hughes was that.
I knew he was gonna break it up. I knew he was gonna break it up. Antoine Jameson was nice.
We're not gonna completely
Where are they
discredit
now?
like
Where are they now?
they're older than LeBron. They were there before him.
Exactly. Getting buckets.
So seeing that, I was like, yeah, this dude's looking like a generational player. I can kind of see it. But then saying, all right, he's gone, he lost. It is what it is. You didn't have the team that you wanted to have. But hey, not everybody wins their first time out. There are people that go to the finals once and never win. So you went, more than likely, from what I see, you'll probably make it again. And then to hear, and it was nice while it lasted, but y'all not really here for me. I'm out of here.
7
not only
years,
am I
bro?
out of here.
7 years? No good not karma, no good connection with the front office or the coaching staff or anything. 7 years, and you expect me to just stay and there's no sign of improvement just to be loyal?
Delonte West messing with my mom.
You expect me to stay through all this? You expect me to?
You still made it to the finals. There's other players that made it through a lot more contradictory off the court stuff than you. And you decide,
I don't know about that, bro. Delonte West messing with my mom is kind of crazy.
Magic Johnson having AIDS and staying with the team.
He didn't play no more.
I was gonna say he definitely didn't play no more. He definitely didn't play no more.
He didn't play no more.
He was definitely gone for a little while. And David Stern was like,
Michael Jordan with a gambling problem. Kobe Bryant with an allegation charge.
Different.
That's my mother.
You're messing with my mom, guy. And you didn't tell me. You're my teammate. Teammate chemistry is gone. Teammate chemistry is gone.
I blame.
I'm not winning anything.
His mom. His mom shouldn't have gave it up. I'm blaming his mom. She knows what she was doing.
I can't disagree with you on that.
I'm not blaming Mrs. James. I refuse to blame.
She a lady. She got to do her own thing. So
Mama gotta have.
Yeah, exactly. I
She's
can't
a grown.
but
She's a grown woman, bro. She makes her.
I blame Delonte West. I blame Delonte West.
I can deal with my mama, but no, I can't deal with
my teammate Delonte West out of all of them.
What do you mean out of all of them? None of them would have had a chance. Hey, anybody else would have been okay.
Man, so Jonas Ilgauskas.
But where is he now?
Ilgauskas? I let it slide.
Where are they now? Like you said, where are they now?
You left the team over Delonte West. Where is he now?
I don't want to talk about it. It's sad.
Bro, LeBron probably did this to him. LeBron did this to him. LeBron.
That's my. I've had this conspiracy theory for a couple years, but I haven't shared it. I think LeBron got him. LeBron made him do that so he could go to Miami.
Oh my God. Oh man.
I'm here.
Who's staying in that situation? Quincy's woke.
I'm here.
Tiger's not woke. It's okay.
Let's move on. I don't want to dive too deep into this conspiracy, but we're here. Let's dive into the top 5 of the position rankings, bro. So we all got them written down. There was a lot of debate going on before the pod. I got it recorded, so if y'all want to see that, definitely let us know. We'll let that footage come out. But Black, I want you to go first for PGs. Who is your top 5 PGs?
My top 5 PGs currently, I have Dame at number 1.
This is all current.
I have Dame at number 1. I might get some backlash for that, but I feel like you can't there's a lot you could say about that, but I'm just rocking with Dame number one. I've seen what he's done. I see how he's continued to progress. I'm rocking with him. And then I'm rocking Steph at number two just because he's Steph. His numbers speak for himself. His game speaks for itself. I'm rocking with Kemba number three. Kyrie at the four, and one of the reasons I have Steph at two and Kyrie at four is because I need them to be healthier for them to be higher. And that's my whole thing. It's not how great your game is, it's how long can you do it? Can you do it for majority of a season, a long time throughout the season at a consistently high level without getting injured and, ruining your team chemistry and ruining the flow of the team. And for that reason, even though it is. And for that reason, I'm not.
Oh, I say the
for that. And for that reason only, even though it's his second year and I'm biased, I have Trae Young.
Trae Young
at 5.
I won't argue with that.
My top 5 PGs currently: Steph Curry number 1, Russell Westbrook number 2.
Pause it right there. I have a problem. I have a problem. See, his was nice. I like his. But with Russell at 2, that's there.
Averaging the trip dub. Only person other than Oscar Robertson to do so. And did it for multiple
seasons. We talking about currently.
Yeah, I'm talking currently.
You talking about currently?
Yes. When you say currently, I'm thinking within the last 3 to 4 years.
Currently?
All right, okay, all right then. So Steph 1, Russ 2, Dame number 3, Kyrie number 4, Kemba number 5. That's my top 5 PGs currently.
Russ at the 2.
But I want to dive into mine first before I dig into Eggerts. Let me dive into mine. I agree with Black. I got Dame number 1 for his progression and all that. And he stays healthier than Steph. Black made a good point on that. Got Steph at 2, Kemba at 3. I got Russ at 4. I'm not going to hold you for that, but I got Russ at 4. And I got Kyrie at 5. And I know a lot of people are probably trying to listen to this podcast like, whoa, where's Luka at right now? We got Luka.
No one's asking that.
They probably are though, bro. Because Luka was a PG.
There are a few people.
Luka was a PG. I would have Luka 3.
But we all know he's a 2.
No, a lot of people don't know that, bro.
Not everybody knows that.
I have him at the 1.
That's crazy.
They have Luka at the 1 right now, bro.
Looking at his frame, he doesn't even look like a 1. That's crazy.
And also, people could be asking why Braun.
Neither does Ben Simmons.
3. What you said?
Neither does Ben Simmons. He doesn't look like a point guard, but people have him there.
We got Ben Simmons sliding as a 3 right now.
We're going off true position.
Yeah, we're going off true position size.
True position size. That's what we're going off of.
So we got Doncic slated at the 2 guard right now, not at the 1. So that, if y'all don't, you don't have to ask those questions. So yeah, the Russ at 2 though. That's my biggest problem of everybody's.
Man,
stretch.
He the bad boy of the league right now. People just don't like it. Y'all don't like to give him his just. He's the bad boy.
He's in his prime, shooting inefficiently.
The bad boy of the league, like I said.
He gets a lot of hate because of Cowherd. I ain't gonna lie.
Cowherd. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All the white people do not like this man because of Colin Cowherd, and I'm gonna stick to it. That's the same thing with Cam too. A lot of people don't like Cam
because of Cowherd.
Exactly, bro.
I ain't gonna lie.
Cowherd in white folks' mind.
Cowherd talk about somebody else. Cowherd talk about somebody else too. Not Baker Mayfield, but it's somebody else that Cowherd always talks about. Nah, he don't really rip Odell like that.
I don't remember that.
I can't remember the other person that he talks about a lot, but they even posted him on his IG like a couple days ago. He was like false news or something like that. He was talking. It is crazy. I love Cowherd, but he be reaching with a lot of
Cowherd has too much control over these white folks' minds, man. It needs to be said. Too much control. All right, too much control. Dive into the shooting guards. Eggert, I'm gonna let you get this one off first.
All right, I'm gonna start with the shooting guards on this one. I got Harden at. I don't like this because
you know the truth.
Y'all know how I am when it comes to Harden. But I got Harden at number 1, Klay Thompson at number 2, Bradley Beal number 3, Jimmy Butler number 2, and Luka rounding it out at number 5 for the shooting guard position.
Wait. Wait, who'd you say was number 4?
Harden, Klay, Bradley Beal, Jimmy Butler, and Luka.
Ooh. No PG.
Nah.
No PG?
I count PG as a 3.
Oh, you count PG as a 3?
Yeah, he not. I ain't got him in there.
PG. I'm hot. I gotta walk off. I gotta walk off, bro. Let me come back.
I have him at the 3, but he's not in my top.
Bro, he's slated. Look, Black gotta walk off because of this blasphemy that you're spewing here. This man said Middleton over PG.
We're not even there yet.
We're
Let's
not.
talk about it. We're not there yet.
No.
We're not there yet.
Did you?
Give your list.
Oh my.
Black, give your list.
Sugar guard list.
All right, number 1.
Process what you just said. I know you have to process it. It's crazy. You have to process.
Oh my God.
I want a lot of Black.
Number 1.
Who you got?
Even though I both like and dislike his game, I have James Harden at the 1. I have Luka at the 2. I have Bradley Beal at the 3. Paul George at the 4, and Devin Booker at the 5.
Ooh, no Clay, huh?
No Clay?
Can't
No,
do a lot with the Rock.
Yeah, he's not a primary ball handler. From what I've seen, I just see him as a great defender and more of a catch and shoot kind of shot creator type of guy.
That's a good argument for Booker over Klay Thompson. I'll give him that because he's a way better shot creator and off the dribble player. So that's a good argument for him. So I got Harden. I got Bill at 2. Bill doesn't get enough credit. Gets 30 points per game, man. I feel like he gets slighted in a lot of ways. Doncic at 3. Clay at 4, and I got PG at 5. Jimmy Butler would be my 6, and that was tough not having Jimmy B in there for me, especially being a Heat fan. But I can't put him over any of these guys. I got
any team Butler go to, they elevate. Like I can't overlook that.
I can agree.
Any team Jimmy Butler, they elevate. I promise. And whenever he leaves, they
go down the shit.
Not escalate, but de-escalate. Yeah.
Yep, that's crazy, bro. So Black man, we are point guard, shooting guards. Any problems on our list, man? You got any beefs?
Besides Russ being the number 2 point guard, I mean,
but
other than that,
production.
I respect it.
Okay, and I remember you brought up a Levine and Oladipo. Where do you see them in the top 10 for shooting guards? I know you wanted to bring them up.
For me personally, I have Levine at 9 or 10, and I have Oladipo at 8 or 9.
So right next to each other.
Yeah. That was a nice honorable mention that you threw in. So you have Oladipo over Levine. Okay.
When healthy, yes.
When healthy.
Okay.
Who did we say earlier? It was somebody at Oladipo. Who did we say? It was a comparison we made earlier before the pod.
For the 1 or for the 2?
It's for the 2. We had said Oladipo or somebody else.
We did. I thought we already said Devin Booker. So.
Was it Booker and Oladipo?
Nah, it was.
Was it Donovan Mitchell?
Donovan Mitchell and Oladipo. Yeah, that's what it was. And Donovan Mitchell, would you have Donovan Mitchell above Oladipo?
Right now, yes.
Okay. I would too.
I would agree.
I would agree with your list. So I have no problem except for Eggert. And like I said, no PG. We're going to dive into it. So small forwards, I'm going to go first on the small forwards. So like I said, we're going by position height. So I got Bron at 1. Kawhi is at 2. KD is 3. And I got Ingram at 4. And I got Ben Simmons. A lot of when I said that before, a lot of controversy. I don't know why, especially with somebody with a name starting with E getting Middleton in the top 5. A lot of controversy on the pod. But yeah, that's my 5. Bron, Kawhi, KD, Ingram, Simmons. Edgar, you go. I'm really waiting for you.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm finished. There was a lot of controversy before the pod.
First off, you're being disrespectful because first off, mine is Bron, KD, Kawhi, Brandon Ingram, and
Has
Chris.
KD won a championship by himself?
No, but talent-wise, I don't see how Kawhi is put over him. KD, I love LeBron, but KD is the most unguardable player in the NBA.
He's the most unguardable player ever. But does he have the defense prowess
Yes.
of a Kawhi Leonard?
Yes.
No,
not of a Kawhi, but we're not going to act like KD don't got a 7-foot wingspan and almost impossible to score.
But has he won a championship?
I agree. He hasn't won anything.
He won a championship and he has better defense. Those are my 2 arguments for
Okay.
Kawhi over KD.
But the unstoppable offensive factor and even the average defensive factor, I feel like it puts him over Kawhi.
Black will unbreak the tie, but go on.
I'm just saying, Bron, KD, Kawhi, Brandon Ingram, and Chris Middleton to round it out at number 5 for the small forward position. Y'all gonna stop disrespecting Chris Middleton.
Real disgusted.
This man really, he really sat here and thought about it. He was like, Middleton might go in there.
Real disgusted by five.
What would Giannis be doing?
Real disgusted. I was thinking about throwing Buddy Hield in there, but it was a lot of toss-ups.
What would the Bucks record be without Chris Middleton?
The same. Okay, Black, go.
Find somebody else to fill the gap.
Yeah, anybody, man. Get Buddy Hield on that team. The same thing. All right, Black, give us your 5, man.
I'm going Bron at 1, Kawhi at 2, KD at 3, Brandon Ingram at 4, and strictly because I don't want to put him at 5, I'm going to go Tobias Harris.
That's solid.
Very slept-on player.
That's solid. I have no problem with Tobias Harris. None at all.
It's solid.
None at all.
Solid.
I have no problem with Tobias
It's solid.
I have no problem with that.
It's solid. I'll take that.
He was borderline All-Star.
I get
He
it.
was borderline All-Star.
I understand. Just the disrespect.
He averages. Is he there for real? I don't know. He gets forgotten a lot. I don't know. Is he really there? I don't know. That's all I'm saying, bro. All right, man.
The plus minus is the same with or without him.
And that's what I'm saying. The record is the same. Put another Wesley Matthews right there, some guy like that. He can hit the shots. Put Dante DiVincenzo in the lineup. The same thing. All right.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be all right.
Throw him out there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, whole lot of this. Whole lot of this in there, bro. Whole lot of that. Whole lot of that. All right, Black. Give us your top 5 for power forwards, man.
Power forwards. I have Giannis at the 1, AD at the 2, Siakam at the 3. I put Tatum at the 4 because, I didn't know if he was small forward, power forward, so I put him at the 4. And even though I don't want to, I'm putting Zion at the 5.
No Collins. I know that was a debate for you.
No
Collins.
I'm putting Collins. Collins is my honorable mention, but I'm putting Zion at the 5.
Can you make the case for Collins? And what do you see from him, and what can you see in the future?
I can make the case just because of health reasons. The numbers that he's put up is constant progression. He's gotten better from season to season. Playing with different point guards, playing with different coaches, things of that nature. He was a very slept on. 16 pick, constantly improving your numbers, your rebounding, your scoring, your shooting, your defense from year to year. So that's the case that I would make compared to a Zion that's been hurt for half his rookie year. And, I haven't seen enough to be able to just throw you in to one of the best, but, you can't deny what Zion is. So
exactly.
That's why I have.
And that's the thing. I think Black made a good point with that because availability is definitely the best ability, and that's something that you would want. But him and Collins had the same issues. They both really can't stay on the floor like that. So that's why it was a tug for me. And I think Zion is just so much more dominant in the game. Of what I've seen so far, it's a small sample size, I know. But what I've seen, he's just so more dominant. He's way more dominant. So I would go with Zion at 5.
So much more rare.
And he's the face. He's the next of the league. After Bron, it's Zion. Me and Edgar had this conversation the other day, and it's like, I don't see anybody else. I don't think Giannis. I don't think it's Giannis. I think it's Zion next up. So how do you feel about the new face of the league after Bron?
I need to see Bron out of the league to see that. Because that's kind of a hard thing for me to picture.
I say barring injury. If there's no more injury concern with Zion, then it'll be Zion. But if injuries continue until Bron retires, if injuries continue to be a theme with Zion, I don't see him turning into the face. But as long as no more injuries come, Zion will be the face of the league.
This is something I want to say. Because Steph had a lot of injury issues at the beginning of his career, and on the back end, he became more healthy in a way. I think Zion will be like that. I think his first couple of years are going to be injury-filled, but when we get more into his career, he's going to become more healthy. He's not going to jump as much. He's going to learn how to shoot the little mid-ranges. He's going to develop other parts of his game besides being so athletic every point in every aspect, being so athletic-based. I think he will get a little jump shot. We already see the Shaq three-point shot is solid. I think that will develop over time as well. So let me give you my top 5. I got AD at 1. Because I have AD in my top 5 overall in the NBA. I have AD in my top 5 over Giannis. I just like AD's game way more. I know Giannis can play PG, and I think that's why a lot of people will put him at number 1 above AD. But AD, I don't know. It's something about the game. He can shoot. That's really what I say. Yeah. He can shoot, and he's much more fluid compared to a Giannis. So that's why I will put AD at 1. And the defensive games for both are similar to me. You got Giannis at 2. Siakam at 3. Somebody who definitely needs more recognition in the league. Got Tatum. Tatum is coming up soon, man. And I think we all can agree. Sure. We all had this conversation before that Tatum is definitely next up. And that's somebody who is a candidate for a face of the league candidate, man. So, yeah, Tatum is next up. And I got Zion at 5. I agree with Black on that.
So my list was damn near the same as Black until number 5. For the power forward position, I got Giannis at 1, AD at 2, Siakam at 3, Tatum at 4, and Porzingis at 5.
Porzingis? I don't know, bro.
I don't know.
Unicorn, huh?
I like Zion. I like what I'm seeing from him. Young, athletic, rare. But what we've seen from Porzingis the past couple of years, the unicorn just being I feel like he's underrated in certain aspects on how he can not carry a team, but fill in a void for a missing piece for a team. When Luka was out for that certain amount of time.
Oh, yeah, his game went up.
Yeah, his game went up, and they never lost pace. And then when Luka came back, he didn't lose pace in his individual game either. He was like, okay, y'all don't need me to drop 30 every other night anymore? Cool, I can go back to my 15 and 10 or however you need me to score. So I feel like his ability to flex and adapt to whatever position or leadership role you need, that's why I put him in the top 5.
Now, that's a good point, bro, because when Luka was out this season, Porzingis was getting off 35, 38 because he went back in his Knicks bag and said, okay, I get to do whatever I want at this point.
Right.
And I think do you see Porzingis as a winning player, though?
I see him as a winning player, but not the leading winning player on a team. Mm-hmm. That's my take on that.
And Black, how do you feel about a Porzingis?
I feel like he has a winning mindset, but I do not feel that he is a winning player.
It's something about his game.
If that makes sense.
That's why I said, like,
it's something about his game. There's something about his game that I can't see winning.
I don't see him being the number 1 winning player on a team. Like, can he be part of a big 3 winning player? Definitely. Mm-hmm. But the number 1 winning player on the team? No, I agree. I don't see him as that.
Mm-hmm. He's a very good number 2 option.
Yeah, very good. Very good number 2 option, yeah. Like, he was an all-star at one point already in his career, so yeah.
Yeah.
And Everett, I'm going to let you start off with the centers. We'll wrap it up.
All right. Top 5 centers for me currently in the league right now: Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Quincy going to hate this, but Rudy Gobert, Bam, and Karl Anthony Towns.
My man Black already walked out because he already the man that brought Rona to the league is top 5? Shut down the league.
I can't
literally that brought Rona to the league is top 5.
He shut down the league. We weren't expecting.
Defensive player of the year. Man, shut down the whole league.
Literally, bro. Shut down the whole.
We weren't expecting this at all.
Oh man, I ain't gonna lie. I do got Gobert in my top 5. I didn't want to put him in there. It was a Middleton type of thing for me too. But I ended up throwing him in at 5. I got Embiid, Jokic, Towns, Bam. I should have put Bam in front of Towns. I think Bam is actually a winning player.
I got Towns at number 5 because Towns just don't show enough heart for me.
Yeah,
like he don't show enough heart.
So flip that for me. I'll say Embiid, Jokic, and Bam. So I throw Bam at 3, then Towns, then Gobert. Towns' defensive, you know what I'm saying, potential has to go up.
I feel like with D'Lo there, I feel like his game gonna elevate. Mm-hmm. Now that he got quote unquote like his best friend playing with him now, I feel like his game gonna elevate. But I gotta see him play with more heart before I rank him higher.
That's true. So Black, what is your top 5 centers? I know you got a surprise one in there.
Oh, most definitely. So
I thought you were gonna say more than one. I was about to say, whoa.
Nah, I just have a big one. So I have Embiid at the 1. I have Jokic at the 2. I have Bam at the 3. I have Ayton at the 4. No, take that back. I have Gobert at the 4, and I have Ayton at the 5.
All right.
I do not have Cat in my top 5. Like you said, I don't see the heart that he plays with. I don't see the aggression. And the reason that I put Ayton above him is because from what I've seen from Ayton, I mean, you got to give it to him. Dude was a number 1 overall pick over Luka and Trey for a reason. So, you know, they chose him for a reason. And from his rookie year, you know, the first half of the season, he was putting up like 12 points. And it wasn't until he went down, sat down with the team, sat down with the coach and GM and said, hey, give me the ball, that you start seeing a man go for 25, 12, 30, and 11 and stepping up on the defensive end and, you know, providing help for a team that needs somebody else to score other than just Devin Booker. And so that's why I put Ayton over Cat, because I just see him play with more heart. He wants the ball. He wants to win. He's proven he has something to prove that, hey, I know Luka was in my class. I know we had Trae Young. I know we had, you know, all these other players, but I'm right up there with them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I have Ayton number 5 over Cat.
I can agree with that, bro. And the first thing I think about when it comes to Towns is that picture. It was him and Boogie. And Boogie's just sitting there like, man, you weak as hell, boy. Yeah. First thing I think about when I think of Towns, bro. That's why it was hard to put him in my top 5. Because that's the first thought when I think of Towns is with that picture, bro. But I agree with you with Ayton. Let's stay on the Suns for one quick minute before we leave. What do we see the upside of the Suns right now? You got Oubre, you got Rubio, you got Booker.
What's his name? You said him, Oubre, Kelly Oubre. I love Kelly Oubre.
Ty Jerome, you got the piece. You got solid pieces. Mikal Bridges. So you got the pieces now. I know you're a Suns fan, Black. I like Devin Booker. So what is the upside for the Suns in the future? Do we see winning playoffs coming from them?
So real quick, I am a Devin Booker fan, which makes
not
me
a
a
Suns
Suns
fan.
Not the other way around. Yeah. Devin Booker makes me
you had to get that right. You had to get that right.
I gotta clarify that. But
and man, I was in Arizona. That don't mean
I was in Arizona, but I wasn't a Suns fan. They have a couple good pieces. They have some young pieces. You know, you got a veteran point guard in Rubio. You got Booker. You got Ayton. You got Oubre. You got a couple good rookies. You got a defensive dog in Javon Carter. I still think you need one more piece at that 4 spot before you can get over that hump. Yeah. Because, you know, with Oubre can, you know, he's one of those guys that can kind of do it all. You know, you got Devin Booker, who's an all-star. You got Ayton, who's up and coming. You got a leading point guard who can pass it and, you know, make everybody around him better. But when it comes down to it, who's going to guard the Giannis's, the AD, the Siakams, the Tatums of the league? Because if you put Ayton on those type of guys, then you got the Embiids, the Cats, the Jokic's that are going to kill him. You put Oubre on them, then you have the LeBrons, you have the KDs that are just going to come in and tear it up. So, you know, you got to have that extra spot to get over that, oh, we're 9-10 seed, to put you in that, all right, we're actually a decent playoff contender. So I just think they're missing one more big piece before they get over that.
Okay, Edgar, and how do you feel about the Suns?
I low-key agree with that. Right now, I feel like the biggest threat of keeping the Suns out of the playoffs, I feel, is Memphis, because I just love the energy that Ja has brought to that city. So I feel like it could low-key start to be a Grizzlies and Phoenix Suns type rivalry in the near future, with fighting over that bottom of the 6, 7, 8 seed spot for playoff contention. So I feel like that'll be a team that'll constantly be, as far as age and everything, I feel like that'll be a team that's going to constantly be in competition with Phoenix. But like Larry was saying, other than that one spot that they're missing the field, I don't see any problem with Phoenix's future when it comes to making the playoffs. I could definitely see them as a 6, 7, or 8 seed when it comes to making the Western Conference playoffs.
I have posted this on Twitter. I said next season, not this season, next season, the Phoenix Suns will make the playoffs. They will be a 7 seed. They just need everybody healthy. If Ayton was on the floor this whole season, they're in the playoffs right now. Him missing 25 games due to suspension really got them off to a bad start. Because you remember that first game, they had blew out some good team.
Right.
I forgot what that was. But then the game after, Ayton got suspended and the team wasn't the same no more. But they got all the pieces. And I definitely agree with Black, just like Edgar did, man. They need a 4 position. They tried Saric. Saric really isn't it. And I think I forgot the backup. They tried Mikal Bridges at the 4. That's not really it. So they need a 4 position that can really be solidified. Because like he said, Who's gonna guard the Giannis's, the Bron's? It's like Oubre is a nice defender, but he's not gonna slow anybody down like the elite caliber. So they need somebody to really step in and be that defender and that glue guy in a way. So they definitely need that in the future. So before we get out of here, any bold predictions? Do you see the NBA coming back, Black? Any bold predictions other than that?
I see the NBA coming back and giving, nobody's going to finish the rest of the season. I see a playoff bracket happening to where, everybody has to like play in and them experiment to maybe like something crazy, something over the top. But from what I see, my bold prediction, I see the Grizzlies and Hawks. If there's a Grizzlies, Hawks, and Suns, if there's a chance where everybody plays a top seed or 1 versus 30 type of thing to try to make their way in, I see these teams that are on the edge, maybe knocking off one of these playoff contending teams that feel like we already have proved something. We don't have anything else to prove.
That's a good point. That was something that was brought up. That's a possibility that it could be a 1 to 30 type of format that's going on in the future. We still have to wait and see. A couple of teams have also opened up their facilities once again. They've been postponing it for a long time. So do you have any predictions?
My bold prediction would be for the NBA or just in general right now?
Anything.
My bold prediction not going to be NBA. My bold prediction right now is that the NFL has 2 options. They're either going to, 1, not have a preseason, or 2, have a preseason with no fans. That's going to be my bold prediction.
This preseason, I think they're going to have a preseason. They need a preseason. I don't think you can just jump right into the season.
They've already been talking about cutting the preseason games from 4 to 2 anyway. Mm-hmm. So with everything going on right now, why not just skip the preseason and go straight into week 1 and just continue to have training camps and practices to help you prepare?
I think you need at least 2.
Everybody going healthy.
That's a season. I think you need at least 2.
I low-key agree to some extent, but I'm just saying with circumstances right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think we need 4 preseason games, but 2. I don't think you need no more than 2.
No more than 2?
Yeah.
Shit, I don't even got no bold predictions like that, man. I agree with Black. I think the NBA is coming back real soon. I think late June, we can see a return. Right now, the facilities, people are starting to get back into those. People got to get a rhythm again, but we should see the playoff format like Black was talking about in the future, man. So I definitely agree with that. Okay, but that is it for the Q&E podcast. Egert, hit him with the social media.
You can follow us on Twitter at QE Podcast 1. You can follow us on Instagram at Q_N_E_podcast. You can follow and like our Facebook page at Q&E Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and click that notification bell and hit the all button. We are now a part of Blue Collar Media Group, so please be sure to check out their Twitter and their website and look at all the different podcast platforms and soon articles that we will be writing on there as well. And I think I'm forgetting one thing. What else am I forgetting?
Like, comment.
The email. The email. QANDEpodcast@gmail.com for any inquiries, questions, comments, or concerns, or if you ever want to collaborate with us, that's our email where you can hit us up at.
Black, what's your information? Where can they find you at?
Hey, man, y'all can follow me on Twitter at Wavy and Lit. Everything is spelled correctly. You can follow me on Instagram at Official Larry Williams. If you need to email me for whatever reason, any questions, any concerns, any hot takes, anything like that, you can email me at officiallarrywilliams@yahoo.com. I respond to everybody, you know what I'm saying? Love open conversations, love debate. So, just hit me up.
Yeah, man, we got to get Black more on the podcast, man. I love having my man on, so we definitely going to get him on more in the future.
We get my friend D-Quiz on here soon, too. DQ be having a lot of takes that I feel like y'all want to hear. Some of them, but he have a lot of takes. Got a lot of takes.
Real wild.
So you gonna shake up the whole podcast.
Yeah, and literally have his own, bro. All right. Also, like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube. I see a lot of hate on the YouTube, a lot of dislikes, bro. Stop hating, bro. Like, comment, and subscribe.
It don't be that many. He's just taking each one very personal. Right?
Real, bro. Real deal.
The 3 dislikes, he be like, nah.
It was like 7. Bro, it was like 7. We had 2,000 views And for some reason, we got 7 dislikes, bro. Who is disliking our page, bro? Yo.
It's the fact that it's a single digit number that got him so high.
It's personal, bro, because, bro, I can see the retention rate. And a lot of people not even watching the vid, but they just dislike it as soon as they click on it. But that's all I'm mad, bro, because I know it's the trolls out here that's getting us, bro. Bro, y'all killing my channel. Get on my channel, dog. Also, like and subscribe to our podcast platform.
Oh, yeah,
podcast platforms. Yeah. We got Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We everywhere where you listen to podcasts, so definitely check us out. Follow Larry. Follow us, Q_Hicks3 on Twitter. Edgar Martin 97 on Twitter.
Yep.
Edgar Martin Official on IG. And we are out. We appreciate y'all listening. This was a good podcast. Peace.